Good everyone, my name is Graphics. In this video, we want to draw the development of the oblique cone that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen. This oblique cone is truncated and it is designed to this shape you're seeing. So we have to draw the development of this. Now what you do first of all, you at any given radius, you draw your vertical line, right? Now doing that, you measure a height from this point downward of 56, right? So I'm going to measure a height of 56 from this point downward. That would be the height 56, 0, 56. So on that line, I'm going to draw an horizontal line in this manner. You can see that. Now the next thing I'm going to do, just like I did in the previous video, I'm going to measure 20 first. From 0 to 2 is 20, right? Then we'll measure 70 next. From 0 to 7 is 70. You can see that. Then I'm going to generate this point to this point and this point to this point, right? That will be the first step. Now the next thing I'm going to do is that from this point I'll measure a faint line, just a faint line like this, and from this point I'm going to measure another faint line upward this way. And the reason I'm doing that, you'll find out now. Now if you look at the diagram very well, from this point A here to this point here, where this line intersects, where you take a radius of 32, right, is given to what? 54. So you measure 54 from here. This is 54 here, right? And the next point, you measure what? 44 upward from this point. 0 is 44. Now you from this point and you draw this line, and from the other point here also you draw the next line. So where they meet here will be this point you're seeing here, and you measure radius 32 from that point. So I'm going to measure radius 32 from that point. So this is 32 here, right? And I'm going to place it at this point here, and I'll draw an arc this way. You can see that. And I am going to tick in these two ends here as shown in the figure. You can see that. Now the next thing we'll do is, if you look at from here to here, it's actually not given, but if you look at the diagram closely, you discover that from this point to this point is the center of what? Of this line, which is 70, and the center of what? 35. I'm going to measure 35 from here. This is 35 here. You can see that. So from this 35, I'll measure an angle of what? 30 degrees as shown here from here to here. So if I place it this way, this is 30, right? So just from that point, I will draw my tick line here. And I'll close here up. And I'll close here up. You can see that. So we have brought this out. Now it's for we to now start developing. First step is to replicate the diagram. Then the other step is to start developing. Just like the same procedure that we followed earlier, I'll say this is my point A, right? And I'll call it to be my point A prime, depending on what you want. And I call it to be my point B, my point C, my point D, and so on, E and F, depending on what you really want to do, right? So what I'll just do is I'll draw a semicircle between, let me say this A, C, let me call it to be what? P. So we'll draw a line this way from the center of this cone, which is C, right? I will now draw a semicircle, right? I'll draw a semicircle. I have to trace it out. Semicircle. So I place at this point here, okay, a semicircle, just like we did in the previous video, semicircle, right? Now you draw your vertical line downward from there. So with the same radius you use to draw the semicircle, which is this. You come to this point, you strike the left hand side, then you strike the right hand side on the semicircle. You come on your point P here, you cut here, you come on your point B here, and you cut here. Then you generate this point towards the center of the circle. You radiate it, this one, the next one, the next one, then the next one. This will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and what? 6. So the same thing we did in the previous video, from A here, from A here, you take it to P, to 0 here, you do the same thing, from to the same thing here, 1, to the same thing here, 2, to the same thing here, 3, to the same thing here, 4, to the same thing here, 5, to the same thing here, 6. You see that? So this will be 0 prime, 1 prime, 2 prime, 3 prime, 4 prime, and what? 5 prime, 6 prime. And generate it towards the center from this point to this point, 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 just like that, and like that. You see that? So the next thing, just like we did in the previous video, you radiate this point upward, then this upward, then this upward to touch the baseline here. You can see that? And this will be this 0, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and what? 6. You can see that? Um, we'll proceed. But as you're watching the video, please don't forget to subscribe and also like the video. So let's go back to business. Now, we'll move forward. The next thing we'll be doing here is from all these points here, you radiate them to meet the center here, A, the apex point. So I'm going to do that on the apex point A, from here to 5, from here to 4, from here to 3, from here to 2, from here to 1. And that's what we have there. So we start. Like I did, you just come here, you draw your vertical line at this point here, right? This way. So I'll be taking this to be my reference point, depending on whatever you want to do. Or that will be my point A. So from A to 6 prime. You can see that? That will be the middle line here. So from A to 6 prime, this A to what? 6 prime. That's the first thing. Now the next thing I'm going to do is this point here. I'm talking about the line of what? Of 6 now. So we have two different points on that line of 6. At point E, that will touch the line of 6, and at point F, that will touch the line of 6. So we'll call this point to be E prime, F prime here, right? So I will come to A to F. You can see that? And I will come to A to F, right? So this is my point F. Similarly, I'll come from A on the line of 6 to E. From A to E, the same line. So this point here is the point E. I'll move again. So this is only 2 points that we have here. From A to 6, A to 6, A to E, A to E, A to F, A to F. They'll go to the next line, and that is 5. From A to 5. Right. You can see that? Then I'll come to that A here. I'll strike an arc close to 6 here, and strike another arc close to 6 here. Then I'll take the distance between any of these two, maybe 2 and 1 or 0 and 1, any of them at all, and I'll place it at 6. I'll strike an arc towards the left, towards the right. That'll give me 1.5. Then I'll draw my horizontal line this way. My line, I will move from 5 to A, and also from 5 to A, which you can see. Now on the line of 5, I have another point here, right? I have another point here on the line of 5. So I'm going to radiate them to touch the line of 5. So radiate these 2 points here to come and touch the line of 5 here, and also the next one, and also the next one to come and touch the line of what? Of 5, So this is the line of 5, another line of 5 here. Yeah, right? So I'll take my compass I'll move from A to this point of 5. I'll call it here. I'll come to that point. And I'll mark on line of 5 in both sides, here and here. So I'll call it to be my P. It should be P, or let me say S, and here is what? R. So here will be S and R. So here will be point X, and that is just X here, right? XX. But I don't have to be doing that. It's not necessary. So I'll move from the next one from A to this point here, right? And I'll come to A also. I'll mark the squares on this side. Another point. Now the next thing is the same thing will happen from A to 4. A to 4. I'll come from A. I'll strike an arc close to 5 here and here. Then I'll take any of these two demarcation, maybe 1 or 2 or 2 or 3, any of them. When I'll come to 5, I'll strike an arc. I'll come to 5 here, also strike another arc, right? So that point will be my point 4 and 4. So I'll draw a line from A that will get to that point. From A that will get to that point. Right? Now if you look at this, 4 is touching here, and also 4 is touching here. So this point I'll rule it out for you to go and touch the line of 4, which is this, the line of 4, and also another one touching the line of 4, which is this, the line of 4, right? So I'll just take my compass from A to this point on the line of 4, right? I'll come to that line of 4 here. I'll mark both at this line and this line. Then from that 4 also, I'll go to the next point, which is this 2. I'm going to come here on the line of 4. I'll mark again this and this. All good. Then the next one is a line of what? 5. So that is I've done for 4. Then the next thing is what? Is 3. So from this point to 3, I'll come here. I'll mark close to 4 here. I'll mark close to 4 here. That again. And I'll take any of this division here. Place it at 4. Strike an arc. Place it at 4 also here. Strike another arc. Right? So I'll draw my line. That will pass through that point this way, and this point here too this way. You can see that. Now in doing that, I'm going to, on the line of this is 3, this is 3 also. So on the line of 3 we have this point and also this point, right? So in doing that, I'll move the points on the line of 3 from here. I'll move it to come to the line of 3, which is this, and also to the line of 3, which is this, right? This is 3 3 here, so let me call it line of 3 3. If I come there from A to 3, can I see that? I'll come to A to 3, left and right, Then add A to 3 again, the same line. I'll place it at that point also. That's in 3, right? Now we move forward. We move from A to 2, right? I see that. And I'll place it here, mark left and mark right. Then take the division of these two. You come to 3 to get 2, come to 3 to get 2. This is my point 2 here. Point 2 here. Then I'll draw a line from the point A to touch 2, and from the point A here to touch 2 again. Right? So on the line of 2 is the only point that is touching here. I see that, and I'll project it out this way. Sorry, the line of 2 coming out to touch 2 here. So I'll take my compass from that point to point 2 in the line of 2, because this is the line of 2 here. Then I'll come to this point A. Now mark 2, also 2, right? And the next one is 1 now. From 0 to 1, I'll come here, close to 2, I'll mark, close to 2, I'll mark, then take division of this 2 here. 2 from 2, you get 1, from 2, you get 1. That is my point 1 and my point 1, right? Then I'll draw my vertical line on that point, from here to here, and from here to here, right? So I will just trace it. On the line of 1, we have this point here where it intersects. Then I'll draw a horizontal line to go and touch the line of 1 this way. This is the line of 1 here. So we'll measure it from this point here, from 0 to 1, from A to 1, then from A to 1 to 1, right? That's my 1 here. This is also 1 here. That again, this point. And the last but not the least, 0. From A to 0, I'll come here, mark close to 1, mark close to 1, then take any division here, 2 and 1. We come from A, mark, I've done that, come from 1 to get 0, come from 1 to get 0. So you just join them together this way. Right, let's see. I move from 0, A to 0, right? Now I got this. And I used to get that. Then on that point, from A to this point here where it meets, 0 to this point here, I'll come to A and I'll mark here and here. And that is all we have here. So I'm going to join them together, right? And this is what I'll be having. First of all, we'll connect all these outer points, 0, 0, connect them with our French curve. So let's do that and see. So if I should come from here, we have 6, 5, and 4. Yeah, done this. We have this. So remain the other one, which is this. Come in. You just take your metal rule and you connect this to here. This here. Because it's not truncated. Then we're going to join all this curve here, right? With your French curve. Just join this point to this point, this to this. This is what we want to achieve, right? Let me just use my hand. You can use your French curve and connect them. So this is what we have here, right? So that will be the development of it. You can actually use your French curve if you want to. Now, there's actually something we need to modify here. If you look at it closely, right? If you look at 0, 1, 2, 3, it is not touching, it doesn't have anything there. 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So from 3 now, it means that all these are what? Faint line, right? 0, 1, 2, 3 are what? Faint lines. So I'm going to modify this by having something like this. This is what I'll be having. So I'll be connecting from 3, right? From 3 here. Let's do that and see. I usually use this. From 3 here, right? They'll have this. And here also, from 3 here, to touch those points we have here. On this. Right? So we don't need all this. So I'm going to faint this out of it, right? So let's do that. So that's what we have. So I fainted this. Why I fainted it is 0, 1, 2, 3, right? This is 0, 1, 2, 3. There's nothing there. So as mean it was extended like the previous video now, we would have what? Extended this too. But since we've cut it off from here, that is why from 3 now we're connecting it to the rest point that we have here. Is that taken now? And if you want to get in contact with the previous video, you can click on this link at the top right corner of the screen in order to understand what I'm trying to talk about, right? So if you have found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.